Good evening and welcome inside the Keith Bodley Arena in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I'm Dave Anthony with the call of today's game on AOTV. Very excited for the matchup between Newcomsett Extreme and Withrow Park Knights. We'll have the Knights in yellow, the Extreme in black. Should be a dandy hockey game in the U19 division between these two teams. As we get ready to get underway, 3 12-minute periods await, and we'll decide a winner of this one in day one of what should be a very entertaining 4 days of ball hockey. As we're underway, the Knights win it back. They'll get to center and drive it in. This one will bounce right onto the goaltender, and we've got ourselves a whistle. As we are having clock issues already. That is not a strong start. Hey, we're sorted out now. That's good. As this one gets bounced past the Knights and all the way down the ice. They'll regroup in their own zone. Smooth looking exit there by the Knights as they make their way in. Another shot, big rebound, turned away again. Good stop by the goaltender of the Extreme. Centering pass, the Knights alone in front. They're hacking away, but a good solid stand-up stop there by the goaltender has the Extreme still deadlocked at 0. There's a really smooth exit by the Knights to come all the way down and get a pretty good look. And then a bit of a head-scratching display of defense by the Extreme allowed the Knights forward to slip in behind the play and get a pretty good chance, but the goaltender showing strong early, giving her team a chance. As this one gets put towards the front of the net, good physical play by the defense of the Extreme there. As the Knights now try and body up down low. She's able to steal and get it to the point area. Good read by the Extreme, break it up, and now they'll get it as far as the red line, not out. The Knights sweep it back down into the far corner. Centering pass is broken up before anybody could get into the danger zone. Kenny Loggins would be really upset about that, as it ends up getting deflected out past the red line. All the way into the offensive blue line now is the Knights as they dump it in. Minute and a half. Extreme trying to get out of their own zone and set up a little something offensively. Maybe they will now. Here's a 2-on-1 forming. Pass, though, out of the reach of the intended target as the Extreme get in a change. Good body up down low as the forecheck couldn't free the biscuit up. Ends up bounced along the hash marks to the blue line and out. The Extreme put it right back into Knights territory. The Knights put it right back into neutral zone territory. A bouncing ball is poked out past to the red line. Good spinorama here by the Extreme, but it's coughed up, and now the Knights have it again. Into the offensive zone with speed. Shot coming. Blocking arm stop. As the Extreme goaltender has been the busier of the two, and she's been up to the task. The Knights will have to retreat here as the Extreme come in. Just poked out of the reach as they didn't quite get into the zone, so they'll have to check up. And now the Knights make their way in on the forecheck. Chipped along the wall and out. Bouncing ball hits a body and gets down the rink. 9:20 to go, opening period, scoreless. The Knights fire that one in high and wide. It comes all the way around. It's almost like a breakout for the Extreme. But they're unable to capitalize as the Knights keep it in. Good defensive structure, though, by the Extreme. Keep the Knights from being dangerous as this one bounces off to the near side. Sweeping this one through the center lane, trying to poke it free. It's going to end up on the Knights goaltender, and we're going to get a whistle. Scoreless in the first period between the Extreme and the Knights here on AOTV. Third game of the afternoon / evening. 2 more yet to come, both in the U19 boys division. There's 8:56 remaining in this first period. Scoreless so far. Ball controlled by the Knights as they make their way up through center into the offensive zone, but the Extreme in good position. No panic from the defense. but they take the ball away and try to center. Good second effort, takes it away. The Knights, though, right back on top of it. As again, it forces the Extreme back into their own zone. The Extreme have not had much time or space to move in any of the zones. The Knights forcing the issue in all three areas. As there's a point shot that gets away, doesn't get through. Knights trying to get it to settle down to get a shot. They end up spinning off on the backhand, and it goes high and into the far corner. Played back down below the goal line. The Knights setting up shop. The Extreme doing a good job keeping everything to the outside. Centering pass broken up into the near corner it goes. Knights center again broken up by the Extreme. They're going to whack this one off the wall and out through center ice. Once again, the Knights turn them over. Centering pass in the slot was telegraphed and broken up easily. And away comes the U19 Knights. They're going to play this one in from the wrong side of center, so that's flooring with 7:45 to go as the temperature rises inside the oven yet again. As we await our first goal of the game. The Knights have had the pressure, but the Extreme have had the positioning. And you wonder at what point will the Extreme either crack defensively or force a turnover and show off that speed the other way. Right now it's the Knights playing it back down low. Again, good recovery by the Extreme around the wall, picked off. Knights trying to direct it towards the net and can't. Again, cleared away from the danger zone as this is off the wall and around. Trying to chip it out with speed is the Knights, is the Extreme. Little back pass there and a example of good soccery by the Extreme to punt that one. Winnipeg Blue Bombers could use a kicker. Maybe she's available. As this one ends up out in front and unable to corral the backhand, but the Extreme come away with a good look, but nothing to show for it. On the near side, a nice turnover here. Shot whistled high and wide. Extreme first team on it. Trying to shake off the defensive check and get a bit of a cycle going here as the Extreme on the backhand cycle it back down low. Nobody loose in front though, as good job to shuck the check. Gives a little bit of space. Now there's a room in front and just couldn't connect on that pass. As the Knights come away, they're going to call that a penalty. I think it'll be interference. Tough play if you're the defender because it's a timing play. You're expecting her to touch the ball, and if she doesn't, you get nailed for interference. And that's what happened to the Extreme defender. So the Knights will go to the power play with an opportunity to open the scoring with 6:28 to go in this first period. Five on four in favor of the Knights. They win the all-important face-off. Got a little room. Shot coming, and that hit a body and doesn't get through. She was going high glove, but a good job by the defender to take the lane away. This one gets poked out to center ice, and they're going to say it cleared. Here's a turnover almost. As this gets gloved down, the Knights, though, are going to retreat. Extreme trying to drive wide. Good effort by the penalty killer of the Extreme. Under 6 to go in the period. A minute 20 to go in the interference minor. This one gets bounced into the defensive zone of the Extreme. The Knights first team on it. Trying to get free. Shot coming, and that one whistled wide on the blocker side. All the way around. Across into the seam, broken up, and down the rink it goes. Good clear by the Extreme. The Knights will set up from square one with the player advantage, ticking down. Over, nice dish as the Knights into the offensive zone. Moving around the check. The Knights come in, centering pass, couldn't handle it. Ends up back outside towards the red line. Knights are gonna walk in. Slap pass coming, and that one's blocked by the stick of number 4. Into the far corner. Knights pressuring, sweeping it off the side of the net. Knights again, centered. That hit a body, and that's a big time stop. 20 seconds left in the penalty. Knights trying to get the first goal. The Extreme trying to hang on shorthanded. Shot coming, and they score! Top shelf for number 2 of the Knights. And the important opening goal goes the way of the road team, who grab a 1-0 lead. The Extreme did just about everything right on that penalty kill. Everything was to the outside. They cleared what they should have. They didn't get themselves into a lot of trouble by creating their own problems, but the Knights were able to just open up a little seam, catch some defenders watching instead of reacting, and that's where that shot comes through. High glove, beautiful shot, gets the Knights out in front with a 1-0 lead. Bodies go behind over Tea Kettle in the corner, and the Knights come away with the puck. Or with the ball, pardon me. As this gets bounced as far as the red line, turned back by the Knights. They'll force it back in deep and go in on the forecheck. Trying to hustle over there as the Knights on the Extreme as the forecheck forces this one down. It's going to roll just past the goaltender for flooring. 1-0 Knights all over the Extreme. A power play goal the difference with 4:06 to go. Good pace to this hockey game. You can tell the Extreme are just kind of waiting for their opportunity to break out and go through with speed. The Knights have been aggressive in all 3 zones, forced some turnovers, got a power play and capitalized. But the Extreme don't need a lot of room to be dangerous. As this gets chipped up the wall, it's picked off by the Knights. Eventually this gets rolled around and up and out of play. We'll take a break with the Knights out in front. It's 1-0 for the visitors when we come back. Quickly back underway with 3:45 to go in the opening period. 1-0 Knights. The Extreme will try a cross-rink pass. Just about intercepted, but one-handed into the offensive zone. And now the Extreme will get the offensive zone face-off and a chance to maybe wrestle some of the momentum back after surrendering that power play goal to the Knights. Face-off to the left of the road goaltender. Bouncing ball ends up back to the blue line. That's pitchforked high and into the offensive zone. The Extreme couldn't get a centering pass to work out, and away come the Knights. Number 2, who's got the power play goal for the Knights, all the way in. She's trying to protect the ball as she centered it, broken up, and away comes the Extreme again. Firing this one up the wall. It eventually comes to center lane, and Leduc will try and get it as far as center and dump it in. Changes coming for the Extreme as the Knights will work their way back into the zone. Shot hit a leg and goes wide. Lots of time for the Knights to set up a breakout. They're going to call that flooring, despite the change on the Knights bench. Used to that getting waved off. But play is stopped with 2:38 to go in the opening period. As mentioned, 2 more games coming up tonight here on AOTV. We got the Calgary Fury versus the Pacific Coast, the U19 boys matchup, and then our final game of the night here, Team BC Express against Team Saskatchewan. Here's a point shot from the Knights that hits a leg and goes wide. Around the wall it goes. Good step up, but good job to chip it past the defense and get it outside. And now the Extreme will try and force a turnover in the defensive zone of the Knights. Almost were successful with that venture, but the Knights will come away and wheel up. The Knights into the offensive zone, turn it over. Extreme can't complete the pass. And with under 2 minutes just about to go, the Knights will wheel it right back into the offensive zone. The Knights have that deflect off the stick of an Extreme defender, and that'll be a whistle. 1:57 to go, 1-0 your score, as both teams will make changes as that faceoff should come inside Extreme territory, or they're going to take it outside. Bit of a break there potentially for the Extreme. Nonetheless, they're a little bit closer to where they want to be, and that's in the offensive zone, where they have not spent a whole lot of time, but again, doesn't take much to get back into the game. As that harmlessly rolls down, and the goaltender will swallow that one up and get a whistle. 1:50 to go now, opening period, 1-0 on a power play goal by the Knights. Things have settled back in, which is maybe advantage Extreme. As this gets bounced to the far side, the Extreme will sweep it all the way around. Hustling to get it there first, though, is the Knights. Spinning back, trying to create some space. Good defensive pressure, though. And a good retrieval by the Knights frees it up. Centering pass doesn't find its intended target. This one gets knifed towards the blue line. Good pinching again, and the Knights just about forced the turnover, now do. Kept in at the red line. Here come the Knights, 3-on-2. Good back check. A little give and go, just missed reconnecting as the Knights give this one away. Out to the center lane area, and just about set on a breakaway were the Extreme. Back in defensive zone territory, poked around to the far side. Both teams hustling for it. Good defensive break there by the Extreme, and out comes the ball through center rink. Under a minute to go now in the opening period. This one gets dumped in, not going to have enough for Flooring. They called that Flooring. She was on the right side of center, I thought. So a bit of an odd call there, perhaps, as we'll have a face-off back inside the home team's offensive zone. They won't mind as they're down a goal here in the first period. The Extreme chip one on goal and just about snuck one in as time making its way down. Played behind the goal. Player was out in front, couldn't get the pass to her, and now the Knights will take it away again. Up through the center lane and chipping it in deep. Didn't get all the way deep, though, as the Knights force this one again to the outside. Extreme bounces to the red line. Final 10 seconds of the opening period. As this gets poked in, not far enough for a shot. And the final 5 seconds are going to tick away with the ball out at the red line area. As that'll end it. 1-0 your score after the first 12 minutes. The Knights on the power play. The difference right now, we'll take a break and come back. You're listening to Ball Hockey on AOTV. Good evening and welcome back inside the oven known as the Keith Bodley Arena in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Dave Anthony with the call of this U19 girls game. It is a 1-0 lead for the Knights through 12 minutes of play. As both goaltenders make their way back to their respective cages, we will settle in and get ready for second period action here on AOTV. Want to wish again a special thank you to the wonderful volunteers for making this event possible, and of course to the officials. Without the officials we would not have games here, and that would be a shame because we've had a pretty good day one so far. As quickly the Knights into the offensive zone where they spent the bulk of period number one. The Extreme trying to get a handle on this one and make their way out. They got a handle, but they couldn't connect on the pass, and it ends up being a flooring whistle early here in the second period. A power play goal for the Knights, number 2. The difference right now in this hockey game. The Extreme really haven't had many shots on goal just yet. They've been very sound defensively. They haven't given up much, but they also haven't gotten much in the way of offense. As this one hits a body and ends up going over the goal, swung back around by the Extreme. Rolling back into the defensive zone, trying to get some space, but unable to as the Knights, again, that pressure by the Knights really causing some issues as they chip this one back in deep. Cross seam pass goes awry, and now the Extreme will try and move it a little quicker than they did in the first. As bodies collide on the near side, ball comes to the blue line. The Knights turn it right back. This one past the goaltender as both teams make changes. The Extreme checked up behind the defensive goal as now they're able to wheel it around. This one got as far as the blue line, but it gets turned away. As now out through the center, turn around, and a quick shot there just whistled wide. Extreme have to retreat back into their defensive zone and try and buy a little space. Intercepted again by the Knights on the wrong side of center. As into the corner it goes. The Knights are going to fire this one well wide. Comes around on the far side, picked up again though by the Knights as they've started to saw the rink in half a little bit here on the Extreme. They'll try and get something cooking here as there might be a bit of a break. Speed in through the neutral zone and into the offensive zone. Trying to drive wide is the Extreme. Good job by the Knights to angle her off. She sticks with it though, and just about able to get free. She gets knocked off the disc and ends up coming from behind. A little bit of help, but now the Knights yet again are smoothly out of the zone. This one gets chipped off of the Extreme and out of play, so the faceoff will come outside the blue line. Good pace to this ball hockey game throughout the first. Decent pace here in the second. There's 2:18 gone. Face off again controlled by the Extreme. Extreme trying to force the turnover. Good ball protection again by the Knights. They've been very good at that secondary retrieval, and now they got it again. Shot coming, hits a body. It doesn't get to the net from the corner. Hammering it off the wall. Great read by the Knights. Break it up to the point. Kept in, walking towards the blue line. Shot coming. Doesn't get through. Glove down by the Knights, and behind the goal it goes. Trying to sweep that one out in front. Good defense again by the Extreme. As the Knights cannot get to the front of the net for a clean look. And now this one deflects off of a Knight and out of play. Exactly 9 minutes to go in period number 2. Face off right in front of the Extreme bench. See if they can push something forward and maybe get a rush with some numbers. As they have it on the right side of center, they'll drive it in and go and see if they can get the ball back. They will do just that. Good forecheck frees it up, but a poor exit pass is forcing them out and down the rink again. Pardon me. This gets right under the glove of the goalie, and the Knights go 200 feet. A pretty successful turn for the Knights, who force an offensive zone faceoff, and will have a chance to work with 8:39 to go in the second period. Knights leading by a goal. A power play marker the difference. This one bounces off a couple of sticks and just about found its way to the front of the net. However, the Extreme are able to keep it from getting out in front. The Knights to the blue line. Right back in, and we're going to have a whistle. I believe it'll be what I'm going to call a defensive 3 in the key, or an offensive 3 in the key. I don't think you can be in the crease for a certain amount of time, and that gets a whistle, so the faceoff will come outside, and the Knights, again, good ball control, but nothing really towards the front of the net thanks to the Extreme defense. 1-0. 8:22 remaining. Pushing it forward were the Knights, but it's the Extreme that are able to one-hand it out. But again, 3 Knights there to make life difficult. The Extreme, though, were able to play it down, and they're going to cover that one up. So now the Extreme get a face-off with 8:10 remaining. Pace has slowed down again here in this U19 showdown. Knights make changes. Extreme will try and get something cooking with gas here in the middle stages of this game. Behind the goal it goes. The Knights pressure, but the Extreme dig it out. She tried to center it for her teammate, and now a breakaway. Number 5 of the Knights in all alone. Hold, shoots, scores! Slips it through the goaltender, and the Knights have a 2-0 lead. The Extreme could not get the handle of that ball to drive in front of the net. Because of it, the defense of the Knights are able to get control, chip it out, and then number 5 just uses her speed to get away from any check that would have come near. She goes, fakes maybe going to the backhand, and then just quickly snaps the wrist, and she's got a bingo to make it a 2-0 game. The Knights out in front. Extreme trying to play this deep again. The Knights forced a turnover and just about went on a 2-on-1. This ball gets back out to center ice. Nice spin here by the Extreme, trying to get some space. Ends up being knocked down at the blue line, and now the Extreme make their way in. Poked into the corner. Walking on the far side. 7:10 to go as the ball is now freed up. Knights defender has lost her stick. Gets played around the net anyway, and the Extreme will get this as far as the blue line and keep it in. The Knights' latest goal scorer picks it up at the blue line and wheels out, and I think we're going to have a penalty behind the play. I think the Knights are going to be the guilty party. They did have the ball when the penalty was called, and it will be number 12 of the Knights, I believe, that goes for roughing. So the Extreme get a gift here, a power play, down by 2 here in the second period. You're listening to Ball Hockey on AOTV. It was actually a coincidental minor between the Extreme and the Knights, as the Extreme come right back and get a good shot on goal. 6:43 to go, so it will remain 5-on-5. Both teams taking roughing penalties behind the play. This gets lifted out as the Knights try to track it down. Good retrieval coming in. Big stop by the Extreme goaltender, keeping her team within shouting distance, down by 2 with 6.5 to go. Chipped along behind the goal as This one gets freed up through the neutral area. Here comes the Extreme. Good looking rush is thwarted by good stick by the Knights defender. As this gets put along the wall, the Knights fight through one check. Almost came away with it with numbers, but instead the Extreme are able to get back and force an offside. 2-0 Knights lead here on AOTB. 6:03 remains in our third game out of 5 this evening here at the Keith Bodley. 2 more U19 games coming up. The U19 boys in both of those contests. This one gets fired back towards Knights offensive zone as they try and free it up. Centering pass broken up nicely by the defense of the Extreme. Kept in again by the Knights. Shot coming, and that's snagged out of the air by the Extreme goaltender. Sometimes if your team is scuffling on offense, some saves are needed and can help build the momentum. The Extreme goaltender doing all she can to help get her team a little bit of that old momentum as this one is fluttered in wide of the net. Extreme once again cough it up in the middle. Shot coming, doesn't reach the goal. Into the corner, swept around the far side as the Extreme poke it out. Picked off again by the Knights. Here comes the power play goal scorer, number 2, drops it off as the Knights keep it to the outside. Shot coming, whistled high, rebounds there, and she just couldn't find it on the backhand. Stretch pass just out of the reach of her forward. As this ends up getting turned back by the Extreme, under 5 to go in period number 2. Below the goal line again, the Extreme trying to get it out in front. The pressure from the Knights, though, causing all kinds of issues as this gets poked out and down the rink. And that's just going to have enough for flooring. 4:37 to go in period number 2. 2-0 Knights lead. The Extreme, though, with an offensive zone faceoff, having a chance to get a little bit closer. If they can maybe set something up on the faceoff and catch the Knights standing still, the Knights will need to be on their toes. They've been the more aggressive of the two teams so far in this one, and it's helped keep them in control more often than they've been chasing. But as a winger will have to come in for the draw, a chance for the Extreme to win it. They do, but again, a good push by the Knights has it out to the Extreme territory. Great back check though by Extreme defender, ends up coming away with the ball, and now she makes a move and she's going to wheel out. Again, a good back check by the Knights, but now here's a good looking rush by the Extreme. Extreme are in and they score! Great play by the Extreme winger, and she's got her team to within 1. It's a 2-1 game. It's an excellent play, driving wide with speed, but you have to credit the attacking winger. As she drives to the far post, it's just enough of a distraction for the goalie to pull her off that post, and that gives her a little bit of room on that glove side, and she made no mistake, and the Extreme get a big-time goal here in the second. They now lead, or pardon me, they now trail by just 1. We get a whistle, we'll take a break. 4:03 to go, second period. It's now a 2-1 game. Right back to action here at Keith Bodley, the oven, and we're calling it as the Extreme are trying to start cooking with gas. They got one already. They're trying to burn the Knights again. Great steal in the corner. As the Extreme tries to walk out, the Knights now are on their heels a little bit. As here's a mini 2-on-1 down low, but the Knights cut her off, couldn't make a play in front. Centering dish is broken up, and away come the Knights. They'll get to center, and they'll wheel it in. Good defensive stick by the Czech of the Extreme. Break it up. 3 Knights in the offensive zone, though, and the ball gets to the red line, kept in. Shot towards the goal is wide. Rebound. Good save by the Extreme goaltender as she caught that one right in the chest protector and ends up getting to the red line, wheeled back in. 3:05 to go, second period. Things starting to get a little elevated here in the final minutes as the Extreme have a goal to get them to within 1. That ball bounces high in the air, picked up by the Knights, and they'll dump it in deep. There's a knockdown. Play is allowed to continue as the Extreme come away. Chipped in the center, just onside. Great job there by the goal scorer, number 47, to stay onside. As the Extreme dump it in, the Knights rifle it out to the red line. No deeper, right back into Knights territory. 2:20 to go as this one gets to the blue line, not out. Everybody one hands it. Eventually the Knights pick it up and they wheel it into the offensive zone. Centering pass is broken up, and again, the Knights swarm and come away with the ball. Pitchforking this one to the front of the goal. It goes wide. 2 sticks collide. The ball's in the middle. The ball's going to lose that battle every time, and it just decides to jump out of play out of fear of being smacked again. 1:57 to go. 2-1 the score, I believe, right? They have it 2-2 on the board, but I'm pretty sure it's 2-1. As time ticks down, the Knights come in and score! Great second effort by the Knights, number 21. And the finish over the shoulder give the Knights their 2-goal lead back. That's a tough play off the draw, as it looked like the defender did a pretty good job. The goalie went down a bit early, and then the shot just perfectly between the shoulder and the crossbar. And it is a 3-1 Knights lead with 1:49 to go. And we'll take a timeout as the Knights wrestle their 2-goal lead right back. (3-1) Knights lead here at the Keith Bodley as we approach 90 seconds remaining in the second period. I'm Dave Anthony, very excited to be with you for this game and the rest of the weekend. Back here at the Keith Bodley tomorrow, Iceplex Saturday and Sunday, as this one gets played out to center ring. It's hammered right back, and the Knights are on it again. The 2 goal scorers, number 2 and number 21, trying to create a little more magic as this one gets poked down, and that'll be flooring. Which, when I do go back to hockey coming up in a couple weeks, if I call icings floorings, the boys are never going to let me live that down. As it's been an honor getting to call some ball hockey. And we should have a great couple of days at 3 different locations. If you get a chance to come on down and check it out in person, you definitely should. Keith Bodley, the Iceplex, and Canada Life Center, the home of the Winnipeg Jets. And Pierre-Luc Dubois, for 1 more year at least. As this comes out through center court, it is the Extreme with under a minute to go, trying to chip back away from the 2-goal lead that they've just dug themselves in along the side of the goal, spinning and firing it up. Ball into the air, just couldn't get a secondary whack, so it stays out behind the goal. It ends up out in front, and away comes another one of the Knights' goal scorers, number 5, all the way in. She scored on a beautiful breakaway move. She's got it again, trying to cut through the slot. Bouncing ball, though, is taken away. This one is up the near boards. Number 5 takes it again. Number 34 gets hooked. Plays allowed to continue. As away comes 12 off a body and out to center. Walking in, the Knights put it on, and that one doesn't reach the net. Final 10 seconds as the Extreme will try and keep this one away to the outside. They will do just that. And we will end the second period with the Extreme trailing 3-1 on a great in-tight shot off a face-off to restore the lead for the Knights. We'll take a break and come back. Third period is next here on AOTV. Back inside the Keith Bodley for the final period of regulation. Dave Anthony and wonderful producer running the camera doing the show here today and having a great time doing it as we get third period action with the Knights out in front. The Extreme, though, come out humming to start this as a quick shot is stopped by the pad of the Knights goaltender. That's just the start you want if you're the Extreme. Get a little bit of momentum going, get some shots towards the goal, maybe catch a lucky bounce or two, and if you can pot one early, you change the feeling of this game mighty quickly. As this one goes into the corner, the Extreme walk out in front, and that one just rifled high over the goal. The net's gonna come off the, well, I don't think they put pegs in the net. I'm thinking it's just sitting there. So the fact it's the first time it's come off today is pretty impressive when you think about how many bodies are flying around the back of that net. Nonetheless, Extreme turn and fire. That one doesn't reach the goal. Ends up near the top of the circle, and now the Knights are away. Their pass is going to be out of the reach of their intended target, and that goes for flooring. We'd like to again thank the wonderful sponsors for making this event possible. the volunteers, and of course, the wonderful people that have come out and packed these arenas the last couple of hours. It's been a joy to see so many supportive faces. As this one bounces towards the blue line, kept in. Shot weakly towards the goal. Now it's up in the air. A couple of players are battling for it. Eventually it's pounced on by the Knights goaltender. As again, we do have a bit of a delay as some games have ran long. I know our U19 Calgary Pacific Coast game was supposed to start at 7 o'clock. Everything's been pushed back about an hour. So with under 11 minutes to go in the third period, play back underway. The Extreme keep this one alive and drive it into the offensive zone behind the goal. The Knights chip it into open space and hustle onto it. Wheeling up the far side of the Knights. Bounce it off of a defender and away come the Knights again. Shot coming, big save, rebound. What a save by the Extreme goaltender. The Knights executed that play perfectly. It's a design play to go off the pad, kick out into the slot. But the Extreme goaltender with that great left leg push is able to get herself across just enough and absorb that rebound and keep her team to within 2. An excellent job by the Extreme netminder. Now her team needs to reward her with some offense. As the Knights put this one towards the front of the net. Centering pass broken up. The Knights again trying to force turnovers in the zone. This one gets punched forward, and now the Extreme have their pocket picked, and away they come again though through center. They're gonna dump this one in deep. Nope, they're gonna try and bring it in. Good ball protection there, and a poor pass ends up being picked off by the Knights. Again, one-handed away from the dangerous number 5, who's already got one tonight. Ball kind of following her around as here she goes again. Up through center. She just fires it in. And that's always a tough play for the goaltender when the official's yelling for you to play it. Unless your defense is aware that you're going to play it, that kind of stuff happens. And I don't blame the goaltender for having a discussion with the official saying, looky here, if I'm going to cover it, blow the whistle. No sense in turning it over right in front of myself. So with 9:40 to go, another face-off in the defensive zone. The Knights put it towards the goal, and a good tie-up in front, or it might have been a tap-in, as the Knights reverse it around the goal, trying to get the Extreme running around a bit here. Trying to center, they do, and they couldn't sweep that one towards the net. It's into the corner instead. Centering pass, turn, they fire. Nice pad stop through traffic. The Knights turning it up a notch here, up by 2, below the goal line. Centering pass misses everybody, and that'll end up all the way down the rink. A foot race between 16 and 47. Nice job by 47 to win the battle. Walks out in front and just couldn't muscle it in on the far side. Another board battle here between the Knights and Extreme. 3-1 is the score. The Knights out in front. They poke it out into central territory, and now swinging it back are the Extreme. Nice dish. Has them away. Good close by the Knights. Keep them. Now a chance for the Extreme. That one's loose in front momentarily, but pounced on, and then a late hit has the Extreme a little bit upset. How upset? Well, maybe extremely. 8:35 to go. 3-1's the score. Game 3 of the day. We got 2 more to go. The jokes will not be getting better on AOTV. As this one gets lifted around the goal, Extreme will get there first. The Knights do a good job trying to keep her to the outside, but that ball did get freed up. The Knights have it though. Now the Extreme put 2 players on the defensive ball carrier, and they free it up. Good ball protection here from the Extreme, and the shot is deflected up and out of play. The Knights lead by a pair with 8:08 to go. Quick break, and we're back to the Keith Bodley. I expected a bit of a longer break, but we're back at it as this one is lifted out. Nice little kick save there by the goaltender as that one goes into the corner. Fighting off the forechecker now as the Knights come down and just about freed it up. Up by 2, they could afford to sit back a little bit and wait and see if the Extreme will make some mistakes. Here's a mistake by the Knights that just about sent the Extreme back the other way. Newhook, though, couldn't get that ball to settle down. As there's a good board battle between the Knights and the Extreme. This one gets poked out to center, and in comes the defender. Trying to make a move, settles it down. Circles back to her forehand. Her teammate's changing, so it took one option away. As this one gets put towards the goal, doesn't reach the net. And around the cage it goes. 7 minutes remain in period number 3. Number 5 again, she has been everywhere tonight for the Knights as this one gets fired in. It's off the net and out of play. They're going to say it deflected off of somebody in black and flames, though, so that'll end up coming back into Extreme territory. The Knights will play tomorrow at 10:15 at Bell MTS Iceplex, and the Extreme are here again tomorrow at the Keith Bodley, 10:15 a.m. Might be cooler than it is right now. We'll have to wait and see tomorrow. We'll take a break and come back. It is ball hockey on AOTV. Welcome back inside the oven, known as the Keith Bodley in Winnipeg, Manitoba. Dave Anthony with the call of this U19 game between the Knights and the Extreme. It is the Knights that currently lead 3-1. As that one bounces on towards goal, kicked away. Trying to fight it free here are the Extreme, and they are able to backhand it out. Bouncing puck is knocked in, and into the forecheck mode they go. 6:30 to go in period numero 3. Hey, directed on net, and they score! What a tip in front. It looked like nothing was going to happen, but a quick one directed towards the goal, and the Extreme get one back, and it's now a 3-2 game. Hey, what do you say? Just throw the ball towards the goal. You never know what's going to happen. Except we do know what happened there. It went in. So we got ourselves a fantastic finish shaping up here as it's now a 1-goal game yet again. Ball dropped at center. The Extreme lift this one into the ceiling. And that'll come back a little bit more towards their goal. So the Extreme trying to pin the Knights back a little bit here as it's now a 3-2 hockey game. I know how hard it is to drop a puck. I can only imagine how hard it is to drop a ball without it, going all over the place. So shout out to the fine officials here as here comes the Knights, pardon me. Could be a 2-on-1 right up center alley. Shot coming just wide. You think about all the saves the Extreme goaltender has made to keep her team in it. She may need to make a few more. Under 6 to go, spinning around and an in-tight stop again as the Knights pick up the pace a little bit. Put the Extreme on their heels. Under 6 minutes to go, and now a 1-goal hockey game at the Keith Bodley. I don't know how much tickets cost to get in, but it was worth every penny to this point. Face-off inside, Knights offensive zone, pushed forward, freed up, and now the Knights will try and keep it in, and they do. Shot towards the goal, off of a body. Now the bouncing ball ends up by the blue line again. The Knights keep it in, trying to get it free. They spin off, and a shot coming, poked away by the goaltender. Below the goal line, good defense, good offense to keep the puck, or the ball, as this one gets centered off the inside of the pad, and that somehow stays out. There's a chance for the Extreme, but a good job by the Knights to hustle back. Spinning back around, buying some time, almost giving it up, and now the Knights have to retreat. Time slowly ticking away as we approach 5 minutes remaining in period number 3, a 3-2 hockey game. Here's a steal, a chance in front, and it's off the glove. And a good defensive box out by the Knights, kept there from being a secondary shot on goal. 4:58 remains, 1 goal the difference here at the Keith Bodley. You can feel the energy and the tension rise a little bit in a 1-goal hockey game. As this one gets bounced towards the front of the cage, it gets bounced over the net and onto the near side. 4:50 remains as the Knights come away. Here's a big break for the Knights, trying to drive wide. One-on-one, shot coming, big save as the Extreme goaltender makes that stop, and then a great pass out in front. Almost caught everybody by surprise, including the Knights, who put this one towards the front of the goal off a foot and wide. Sweeping this one back out in front, misses everybody, chipped out, and now a 2-on-1. Here come the Extreme, driving towards the net. Ball coming, shot wide. Back out in front and loose in the crease area, but unable to get a handle on it. Now a shot is blocked. Good retrieval and a shot coming, just missed. Sharp angle there. Onto the near side, the Knights survive the push, and now to look to make one of their own. Solid defense there, keeps that away as this gets lifted out to the neutral zone. Across, bouncing ball, knocked down. The Extreme seal the wall and keep the ball in their possession. There was a lot of people on the floor as one zealous fan thought he saw something the official did not. But last time I checked, they don't give whistles to people in the crowd, so we'll get a stoppage and we'll drag the faceoff back into the Knights defensive zone. 3-2, your score here on AOTV. Faceoff into the far side, Knights free it up. Player loose in front, but couldn't connect on that spin pass. Keeping it in with 3.5 to go. This gets off a couple bodies, and now a foot race. You got to wonder how a lot of these U19 girls must run track, because they are incredibly fast. As there's a good job slipping the check below the goal line by number 4, who's going to spin back around, buy a little space. Everybody checks the clock with only 3 minutes remaining. The Extreme have it out again. This is played in. Will it have enough for flooring? No, it will not. Great hustle there by the Extreme. The Knights keep everything to the outside. This pass is going to be broken up, and number 5 is off to the races, but how much gas could she have left in the tank? She's had a couple rushes. Now she's going to have to come back and play defense. The Knights dump it in, up a goal. 2:35 remains. This one gets chipped up the wall. This will have enough for flooring against the Extreme, so it'll come all the way back down, but both sides will get their changes in. 2:25 to go, third period. If this is the start of what's going to be a pretty fun couple of days. We are in for a treat. This is the Knights keeping this one in. Shot coming. That goes high over the goal. Bounced back out in front, and good hand-eye coordination there by the goaltender to snatch that one out of the air and get a whistle. 2:16 remains in the third period. Offensive zone face-off for the Knights. They look to put the hammer down here. As this gets dropped, Extreme trying to play it around and one-handed into the offensive zone. It's 1-on-3, and she's going to beat everybody. Look at her go to the net. And there's a big pile-up. It gets freed up. It's in the paint, and that one just poked on the wide side. Shot coming is blocked. Here come the Extreme. All the way into the offensive zone. The Knights. Stopped easily, and into the corner it goes. Everything to the outside for the Knights with 1:40 to go. Nice stop, and now the Extreme are going to have to get on their horses. The Knights keep it alive. Shot doesn't make it to the goal. The Extreme push it up. This just about sprung on a breakaway. Good defense here by the Knights, though, to hustle back and break up that rush. Rimmed around the far side of the wall. The Extreme keep it in. Wondering when they pull the goaltender. 70 seconds remain. There comes the goalie. They need to win this board battle as the Knights are happy to let the clock run out. And with 1:04, there should be an offensive zone faceoff for the Extreme. We'll see if they take their timeout here. Down a goal, as the Knights will have a chance to potentially set up their defense as well. It does not appear as though the Extreme will take their timeout, so we'll stay 6-on-5 with 1 minute to go. This gets lifted out, down the ice, off the post, but that will negate the flooring whistle as it hit the post. So the Extreme are going to have to hustle back, and they do. 45 seconds left in regulation. The Knights put it on towards goal, broken up. High into the air and out to the red line. Kept in again. The Extreme cut it off. Can't get it deep. Yes, they can. The Knights backtrack with 30 seconds to go. Up the wall, just about intercepted. Now the Knights have it, just out of their reach. And now it's back towards the blue line. Everybody's onside. Cross rink pass, trying to get somebody open. They can't. 15 seconds left. The Knights off the wall. It's out to center. One more rush. No, it's poked away. And that'll do it for this one. The Knights will hold on and defeat the Extreme. 3-2, your final. Really entertaining hockey game here as we've got 2 more at the Keith Bodley. We're going to take a break and come back. A U19 matchup for the boys when we return.